Sure, Arian Foster is a star running back, but he's now being called the first active pro athlete to stand up for secular Americans. Foster is speaking out for the first time about why he doesn't believe in God. ESPN The Magazine senior writer Tim Keown wrote the story. Joins us now over the phone. Tim, Foster grew up Muslim, read the Quran and the Bible. Why doesn't he believe in God?
Well, Kerry, I think there's a complicated answer to that question, and a lot of it has to do with the way Arian was brought up. He was brought up Muslim, but he was brought up in a very free-thinking family where they encouraged their kids to sort of take different looks at things. And Arian always had sort of a scientific bent. I think that he told me that he always looked at things and looked at this idea of a higher power through sort of a skeptical lens. And a lot of it was that he didn't quite understand the way that people used God to inject into everyday life, and to use a modern example is the way that, players say that God helped them win the game. And it didn't ever work with him. And so he did read the Quran, he did read the Bible, and he did that as sort of research to try to find his own truth, as he puts it. And I think that's really where it started. And he avoids using the word atheist because he says he has an open mind, and he may change his mind someday. He may come around to the idea that he was wrong. So it's not ironclad, but for right now he does actively say that he believes in science because science is provable, and that he doesn't believe in God.
He's very open-minded. Why did he want to open up now about being secular?
Well, Kerry, I think a lot of it has to do with where he is in his life. He went through some things in his personal life that I think made him reassess his own thoughts and beliefs, and also tried to get to a point where he was maybe more tolerant of people who believe in God. I mean, he went to college in Tennessee, and he now plays in Houston. So he's been in the heart of the Bible Belt through his whole football career, at least in the public eye. And I think that he started looking at the fact that he had always been very combative with people. He had always tried to challenge people on their beliefs and try to catch them in hypocrisies and mistakes. And I think that this is kind of his way of coming to a new tolerance, is that he feels that he needs to be more tolerant to people with different beliefs. And he also feels that people, Christians and other religious people, need to be more tolerant of secular beliefs. So that's why he decided to open up and to talk about this with the hope that it'll bring people together a little bit more.
You mentioned his combative past. How have his beliefs alienated him in football?
Well, the football culture is really, as you know, kind of rigid, and there is sort of an undercurrent of religion there. There's a lot of talk about religion. There's a lot of talk about God and country, and that's kind of the product of the NFL is sort of cloaked in that a lot of times. And he has alienated himself in some ways because he does challenge. Justin Forsett, who is the son of a preacher, a very devout man, who's a great friend of Arian, says that he challenged him. He would when he would say something, he would say, here's what it says in the Bible, because Arian knows the Bible, so he could challenge people on their own beliefs. And I think he took a certain glee in catching people in things, or showing people that they didn't know as much as they thought, or that they were too blindly relying on faith. And I think that obviously, as Justin Forsett even says, guys didn't want to engage with him in the locker room because they didn't want to be made to be a fool. I mean, and to be sort of picked on. And I think that part of this evolution of Arian Foster is his attempt to come to a greater understanding of other people, to be more tolerant, less combative, and and to maybe hope that comes back his way as well for his beliefs.
I think that's a great way to describe it, the evolution of Arian Foster. Tim Keown, a fascinating article and profile about the man and what being a football player means to him. For the latest on Foster and the Texans, check out ESPN.com's NFL page.